I love contradictions, and one of the biggest contradictions I think in my life is the fact that I have generalised anxiety disorder, meaning anything could make me anxious or panic, but I love horror. Now, I don't love jump scares because that's a very quick, sharp shock and it just does nothing for me. But I love more the suspenseful, creeping kind of horror. The thing that'll just make you feel unsettled. And, you know, I'm not saying like any kind of like quick imagery or anything like that is bad. There are things that will perhaps, you know, show you very quick flashes of horrific scenes that you can't consciously absorb it all. It's, you know, it's going too fast for your conscious mind to really kind of process. But it goes in. And the brain at one point will kind of sit there and go, hold on a minute, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There is something amiss here. I don't like this. I'm feeling unsettled. Is there an adult present? And I love that kind of thing. Like I said, mild jump scares are fine. Those kind of flashing images, suspenseful, sort of atmospheric things, that's fine. So it's rare for me to really praise a horror game, because most horror games, unfortunately, lean on jump scares. Even if they've got great atmosphere and setup, there will be moments of boom, shock, ah. And like I say, I hate that. It's not healthy for me. I also have high blood pressure, so it's really not good. But The Last Door, Season 1 and 2, didn't lean on that so much. There are occasional little moments, like I say, the mild jump scares, where perhaps there's a sting, like a musical sting, and a thing will fall off a table, you know, in sync, and you'll be like, oh, what was that? Just something, again, it's more to unsettle you slightly. It isn't just to go, ha, there's the cheap scare, because we didn't want to actually put the effort into creeping you out. And it's rare for me, with my other issues, to really be able to focus on something for long periods, but I was binging through chapter after chapter, because it was that gripping. It was great, you know, the atmosphere, the storytelling, the music, it all came together to really just make me go, what's this? And I'll admit, there were a few times where I was like, I don't get what I'm doing next, so I was looking at walkthroughs. Normally, if I have to look at a walkthrough multiple times during a game, I'll give up on it because I'm not enjoying it, I'm just reading how to do it. But, you know, I was like, I can't figure this out, but I want to know what's next. I want to get past this puzzle. And, you know, I did. I soldiered through, and I got to unravel the mystery as much as we have. Unfortunately, the Game Kitchen, the developers, you know, after the end of Season 2, weren't making the income that they really wanted to. So their attention was kind of facing elsewhere after that point. Now, that isn't necessarily the end. They have said they'd be more than willing to come back to it at some point in the future, maybe in different media, you know, different styles, or just a different story that happens to just reference it. But it's not the end at all. It's not, you know, over in a meaningful way. But it was quite an interesting model, because it was kickstarted back in 2012, and it was then sort of an episodic format. So you would donate however much, you know, it was pretty much any donation, and you would get the next chapter unlocked for you, the next episode. And you can still see that, because I've got the collector's editions of both, which were released, I think, as a Fanatical bundle way back. And I just went, you know, through kind of each episode and going, oh, here's who helped fund this, basically. You know, people who obviously donated a certain amount were credited as, you know, sort of the funding behind it, really. And I do like that. You know, it's something that we have now that we didn't when I was growing up. It was basically, you had the game designers creating it all and developers and, you know, sort of shipping it out. But you didn't have people, just everyday people going, well, okay, I like this idea, I'll give you a £5 or a 10 or whatever they can afford. I'll give you this for access to the game, and, you know, just so I can help fund it. It is a double-edged sword, like a lot of things, I think. For every Last Door, there are just basically Steam trading card games, as I call them. You know, where basically there's no real gameplay, but you just get trading cards and achievements, and you just look like, oh, look at you, you're so accomplished. I don't like those, although I do like trading card games because I tend to sell mine, so it gives me a nice little boost in my Steam wallet. But other than that, you know, I hate those kind of things, especially if they have been kickstarted as well, because someone thought this was a great idea and paid them for it. So, I mean, it's like with anything. Kickstarting, you know, is going to give you good and bad. But in this case, it was a great business model. It meant that they had a constant source of income, because people are like, oh, I'll get the first one. You know what? I'll pay for the next one. Why not? Let's go for it. Then finish that and go, do I really need to eat? You know, or whatever. You know, it's like people can make that choice, and I love that. But like I say, everything about this is amazing. The music is great to set it up, considering what they're working with here. It's pixel art. It's very blocky graphics. The people have no faces. It's just a big square attached to a rectangle, which is attached to more rectangles and squares, basically. And yet it still unsettles. It still makes you question what's going on. It still makes you check around the room because you feel like something's breathing over your neck, or like there's an owl staring at you or something. It just gives you so much in a very minimalistic way, and I respect that. You know, my hats, however many I have, go off to the Game Kitchen and anyone who can make this kind of work, you know, in this field. I think anything that kind of tries to do minimal or minimalist things but still have the impact of like a AAA, you know, fully 3D realized game deserves a lot of praise. So yeah, they did well, and if you can find a copy of it somewhere, go and pick it up, pick up the soundtrack, and just enjoy yourself, or creep yourself out, whichever is better for you. But I will leave this there with the last door, because I don't want to run, you know, afoul of the evil creatures hiding behind it. But I do hope you join me next time for something completely different. So until then, as always, thanks for watching, and take care.